Hi guys, I'm Beth. Thank you for joining. Today we're going to talk about An American Marriage by Tayari Jones. Thank you so much for joining. I'm excited to talk to you today about a book that I recently read called An American Marriage by Tayari Jones. Am I the only one who goes all Princess Bride when I hear the word marriage and just want to say marriage? Maybe I am, sorry if so, but back to the book. Let me give you a quick rundown. Roy and Celestial are a young African-American, recently married couple. In fact, they're only about a year and a half into their marriage. It's a very fiery marriage, full of passion, but also full of drama. Roy admits that he is only faithful about 97% of the time. And of course, Celestial knows about this, and they have their issues, but they love each other so openly, so passionately. And so it's a shock whenever, about a year and a half into their marriage, Roy gets picked up and wrongly accused of a crime. And then even when he's put away in jail, they keep holding out hope, and you see these love letters going between the two of them where the love is still strong, the hope is still there, but as the time goes on, you kind of see them both losing hope and both coming to the reality and the realization that Roy is probably going to be there for a very, very long time, because the system that served Roy was not a system that worked. I'm going to read you a quick quote from the book. This is from Celestial's point of view during the trial. It turns out that I watched too much television. I was expecting a scientist to come and testify about DNA. I was looking for a pair of good-looking detectives to burst into the courtroom at the last minute, whispering something urgent to the prosecutor. Everyone would see that this was a big mistake, a major misunderstanding. We would all be shaken but appeased. I fully believed that I would leave the courtroom with my husband beside me. Secure in our home, we would tell people how no black man is really safe in America. So as they grow apart, we kind of see the drama that happens with that and with this new life that Celestial has built for herself. Now we get enough hints of their earlier marriage and the fire between them that you kind of wonder a little bit if the marriage would have worked out on its own, untested as it is. They're so fiery, they're so passionate, they have such disparate life values, their families are completely at odds. And it seems like what they want out of life goes in two different directions. Celestial wants to build a career for herself. Roy wants to be the big provider and sit his woman down. Celestial is not necessarily that maternal. Roy wants babies, lots and lots of babies right away. So it's kind of interesting to see this push-pull between them and wonder, could they have overcome that? Could they have moved forward and had the lasting, long relationship that Celestial's parents had, that Roy's parents had, especially that Roy's parents had? It's not easy to know, because once Roy goes to jail, things are changed irrevocably. And so I'm not going to tell you whether they managed to find their way back to each other or not. I think it's a heart-wrenching and harrowing story that you have to discover for yourself. But it's just full of all the feels. Now, an interesting thing about this book is that it not only gives a good sense of character, it also gives a good sense of setting and of the supporting characters as well. We get to know the communities in which they live. We get to know each members of the families. We feel the grief whenever Big Roy grieves over his wife. We feel the disturbance within Celestial's mom whenever she is thinking about her own past and then thinking about the right path for her daughter. We feel what these other people are feeling. It's a really good cast of characters, I guess I could say. We also get a good sense of setting in that this is the world that Celestial and Roy live in. It's not some big anomaly. It's something that they knew would probably happen. These miscarriages of justice, they thought maybe it would just be a big, scary thing that they would get through. It was a big, scary thing that they didn't get through. I mean, Roy was kind of stuck in the middle of it for years. And we kind of get a sense about what it's like to be an African American in that situation. Of course, I can never know firsthand what it's like, but we do get an inside, intimate picture of what's going on in their lives. We also get a strong sense of family, the strong sense of family that these characters have, the obligations that they have to their families, the loyalty. You know, these aren't people who are just going to say, oh, well, you disagree with me, family? Well, forget you then. No, they really have to figure out how to get their families buy-in because these are valuable members of their world. So, beautifully written, 5 stars, An American Marriage by Tayari Jones. I highly recommend that you give it a read if you are ready to have your heart broken. I don't actually cry my own tears very often, but this one kind of made me want to. So thanks, appreciate that book. All right, if you've read it, let me know what you think in the comments. If you have any other great book recommendations, keep them coming. I love getting recommendations of what you think I should read next. I will talk to you guys next time. Thank you so much for joining. Bye.